Creating is a challenge. Turning that idea that's in your head into something tangible isn't easy. Austin Kleon, in his book Steal Like an Artist, describes the life of a project, a negative arc which follows this path. 1. This is the best idea ever. 2. Okay, this is harder than I thought. 3. This is going to take some work. 4. This sucks, and it's boring. At step 5, you're reaching your lowest point. At 6, however, things slightly improve, and you think it will be good to finish because I'll learn something for next time. And finally, it's done, and it sucks, but not as bad as I thought. Many quit at the lowest point. One of the great creators was David Bowie. Bowie's friends tell of how a young David Jones, as he was then known, had an insatiable appetite for music and sound. He listened to everything, from jazz to show tunes to odd sounds and everything in between. He didn't necessarily follow what others liked. He listened to American radio, even getting into American football when no one else in the UK was listening. This gave him a deep pool of ideas to complement his talent, but being the sum of his influences wasn't enough for Bowie. His knowledge and talent didn't guarantee great execution. For this, he utilized a principle which most think is a formula. It enables a germ of an idea to flourish into something tangible. The principle was simple. Use the material in your environment to build and develop your idea. He did this, quite simply, by cutting lines out of publications and mixing and matching the words and phrases, a technique used by many before him, including William S. Burroughs, whom he cited. Bowie cut from newspapers, books, diaries, and poems he'd written, and found this to be very effective. He said, "If you put 3 or 4 disassociated ideas together and created awkward relationships with them, the unconscious intelligence that comes from those pairings is really quite startling." This method proved to be so useful that later in his career, a friend of his automated it for him. So simple, but who could dispute Bowie's prolificacy? It also just sounds like an easy method, a formula. But this approach didn't write out entire songs for him. He said, "What I've used it for, more than anything else, is igniting anything that might be in my imagination." It allowed him to grow his information, a seemingly small thread of an idea into something mighty. The Bhagavad Gita tells of exactly this approach. A seed does not contribute much materially to the plant it grows into. The material comes from the soil, sunlight, water, and air. What the seed contributes is information. It has the same DNA as every other living entity, but when its genes begin to be expressed, it pulls from the environment what is needed to make a plant just a particular kind. Most people huff and puff, trying to turn an idea into something tangible by forcing it into fruition. Bowie effortlessly tapped into his unconscious intelligence simply by using his environment. Steal like an artist, and build like Bowie.